Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Sparrowhawk, issue number 5. Guess what my dumbass forgot to do? Well, no, I washed my hands, but I forgot to buy the comic book. So yeah, I went and bought it on Comixology instead. Probably gonna. I'm not entirely sure. Do I want to just buy the floppy, or should I just spring for a couple extra bucks and get this on trade paperback? Because I did mention that I kind of want this on trade. Should I save the $4? Actually, it's more because I'm in Canada. Anyway, we'll see about that. This was a solid ending for this story, guys. Let's get right into this. So we got Delilah S. Dawson writing this comic book. She's also the creator of the comic book. Illustrated by Marias Basla, colored by Rebecca Nalty, letters by Jim Campbell, and cover by Miguel Mercado. Dude, this book deserves all the freaking credit in the world for being awesome. This was about as sick gets, dude. Artemisia, pop it. She goes through the final stages to get back to her earthen world because that's where the queen of the fairy folk is. But she's taken her place. Now, in order for her to get back, she's got to do the same thing that was done to her. She's got to find somebody who's going to peek her head into the mirror, grab that person through the mirror, pull her in, meanwhile jump out. You got to be able to trade places. There's got to be a 1-for-1 ratio, right? That's what the Dark Queen did to her, so she's going to go after this queen now. She just tricked somebody to come in, some little redheaded girl she's not familiar with. She doesn't know who this girl is. She goes and she jumps into the regular world. She's got her spikes and everything like that, and she's ready to kick some booty. She goes right after the queen, who's disguised as her. So there's two Artemisias fighting, except one of them's spiky and freaking fairy looking. This was a badass fight, and eventually she won, but at a huge cost to herself. There may have been some dismemberment and disfigurement, just saying. That being said, it's the end of this comic book. That's just sick, dude. You remember that Artemisia forgot something? There's one thing that little weak fairy deceitful creature did. It took one memory in as payment for teaching Artemisia, Poppet, how to survive in the fairy world, but in her own way. We finally learn what that thing is that she took, what that memory was. That memory is going to come back and basically kill her. This is incredible storytelling. I was so completely shocked by how damn good this was. Holy crap. Dude, at this point, anything that Delilah is writing, sign me up immediately. Just throw that right in my pull list. So right in my pull box. We're good. Because I have got to see what comes next. The art in this was as perfect as it needed to be for this particular crazy story. Wow. Guys, definitely get this comic book. This came out around the same time as Blackbird did, and I know that it was hard to, read both of them at the same time. They both were named after some kind of a bird, Blackbird, Sparrowhawk. They both had some high fantasy and magic and crazy stuff like that going on. I get it. Make sure you don't mix up the two comic books. Make sure that it's understood the difference between these two books. Dude, I'm not going to sit here and start comparing books, in a major way, but this one, because of this ending, I thought the other book was a superior book because each issue was better. But this ending blew me away. That's something that the other book failed to do. I've mentioned many times, you guys know how I feel. If a story arc is great, but the ending falls flat, kind of puts shame on the whole series, right? The whole arc, the whole whatever you just gave me, the whole trade paperback. If the story falls flat, But even something that's not particularly great, but it sticks the ending in a major way. Wow, because that's the feeling you're left with. This was a really solid issue. Or this was a really solid comic book. But that ending, man, this is great storytelling. Definitely get this book. That's less of a suggestion, more of a, hey, dum-dum, grab the book. Don't be like me. Don't forget to buy the freaking book. Yeah, I'm going to have to get this anyway. And I have no problems paying for this twice, once on Comixology, once physically. But again, probably the trade, just because, wow, this was good. Really good. Anyway, guys, loved this book. I think you will too. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.